Hello and welcome to What's Map for Cities Skylines, your one-stop shop for everything workshop. There are thousands of items on the workshop now, so finding the right one for your next city build is a huge task. So each day, Monday to Saturday, we'll review some using our 5-star rating and the coveted seal of approval. So join me, fellow Skylines explorers, as we venture out to today's new land. Who am I? I'm BonBonB, and you are very, very welcome.
Come here now, girl.
Hello and welcome to What's Map, your one-stop shop for everything workshop. BonBon here, how you doing? Right, it's Friday. Friday is request day, and this one was requested by one of the patrons over on patreon.com and was voted in by the patrons on this week's vote. And it wasn't just a slight winner, it was a runaway winner. And I'm going to tell you now that the most impressive thing about this map is the vanilla rock work. You didn't expect me to say that now, did you? It's actually quite impressive, considering it is vanilla rock work. This is technically the creator's second map, I would suggest, and they've done a pretty good job. Now, it is supposed to be in the shape of New Zealand's South Island, and the name of the map is the Maori name of New Zealand. But my first instinct was that from here it looks a little bit like Norway. Yeah, okay. Anyway, ignore all that for now. Shall we crack on and do some important jobs, like your daily routine? Get that finger waggling, please. That's right, hitting the like button really does help support the channel, and I applaud you for doing so. There you go, you got 5 claps. That's 3 more you deserve. Okay, today's map is Aotearoa by Know It Hickey, and already you can see the rock work in the thumbnail there. Let's have a look at the start square, which looks pretty good from here, correct? I would say so. And then if we have a look at the resources look like this. We've got a fertile end. Ooh, that sounds naughty. And lots of forestry, of course. And what do we need off of the workshop? The answer is the realistic 2.13 Boreal, and that is it. Just the theme. No LUT, no nothing. So if you want to play this vanilla, if you want to play without the theme, it's not going to look. It won't look as sharp and as as rugged as a realistic theme. But you can play vanilla, and this would be fine. You'll have all the trees. You'll have all the goodies, and the roads are not bad at all. It is effectively a peninsula, although we are talking about the shape of the island. The edge of the island goes off the edge of the map, and we have this one single solitary highway running down the length of the map. Do you know what? Yeah, okay, I'm going to let it go. It'd be nice to have a second connection, but given the shape of the map and the amount of actual build plane there is to work with, because it's quite a hilly map without being unbearably hilly, I would suggest that one connection is probably just about okay. Only just, though. Of course, you've always got the rail, and there is a rail connection, and there's always shipping routes as well, so you've got all of that to work with too. This will get very busy. At the moment there's nothing because there is no flip through traffic at all. But it doesn't dead end. This, I'm telling you, it's a peninsula. And yet, this does not dead end, this road. Oh, you're surprised, aren't you? Lovely little bridge here. I've got a minor grumble on it. And it's a little bit low to the water's edge on the left here. Let me see if I can get down and show you at this level. It's a bit tight, and it's gonna pop up. So oh dear. Okay, go the other side. But the water and the concrete. Well, the water would slowly but surely erode the concrete, and I just prefer it just a little bit higher. It's a smidgy amount. Also, a little bit of weeding to do. A little bit of weeding. Minor stuff, that one. Now we're coming down to the start square intersection, which we'll have a little look at right there, like that. Looks hand built. It's not bad at all, but we will, aesthetically speaking as well, but we're going to carry on to what isn't the dead end. I know, you are really, you're confused. How can this be just a one highway and not a dead end? Well, you'll see. We do have a factory now. You can always see the chimney of the factory. That's where we're heading to, so not too far now, and we will be there. And some sort of intersection going on. The road split, and they come back together. Look at that. That's quite nice. That is quite nice indeed. Traffic comes in, traffic goes out, doesn't even have to enter the city. While we're down here, we'll have a little look at the factory. There's not too much to say really. It's fine, it's okay. We got some abandoned trucks there, and the cars have been overgrown with moss as well. It's fine. Nothing special. Just a little feature area. Doesn't blow me away, but I guess it's nice to have there. You can just hit the bulldoze key, I guess. Now this intersection down here, few minor problems with it. First of all, we've got some glitching. Now this isn't the easiest one to fix, because normally I go, right, you hit move it, you grab that and just bend it across and it should pop in, yeah? Not that easy, because you'll also notice at this end, when I try doing that, we start glitching here as well. Now there is a solution. There is a solution, and the solution involves using that bulldoze key. Get rid of it. Let's get rid of these trees as well. We don't want them there. 2 less trees in the count. Now we're going to build using the highway again, highway ramp, and we're just going to pull this one off. But instead of doing one full connection, we'll do one to there, and then we'll connect that to there. And now we're going to use move it. We're going to use move it just to shunt in that to the point just before it starts glitching, which will probably be about there, maybe ish. And then we'll bend this one back in, and look, we've even got the straight on arrow as well to play with. I'm going to move this one back a little bit. Got a little bit of glitching between that and the highway. Just going to keep moving these nodes around until everything's good. I'm not happy with the height of the roads there, so I'm just going to bring that one up, bring this one up, because it's already elevated as well, so that's even better. And we'll bring that up as well a little bit, and there you go. That is 101 times better already. Didn't take long, and that was just faster than real time as well. What else have we got? We've got the ramps. They're a little bit bumpy and a little bit rough, but they're not so bad at all. I've seen a lot worse than this, and not moaned about it, so I think we can let that go. Oh, we've got a little bit of a shoulder going on there. This is an easy one to fix. I've shown you this 1,000 times. Pop. There we go. Easy as that. Thank you, Move It. Thank you, SamSamTS. Right, let's head down towards the start square. Now, saying that's a start square intersection, it kind of isn't. Kind of isn't, but that's the intersection that leads you down to the start square. We do have an intersection on the start square which will help separate the traffic in the city, and this is nice. I said about the vanilla rock work. This little cutting through here blew me away when I saw it. Very easy just to have driven right past this, flown right past this even. Just a few rocks on a couple of locations just to decorate it. I like that. I like it a lot. Now this intersection here is a little bit lightly decorated with the hedges, with the bushes. They are okay. It's fine. It's fine. Why not? Why not? We've got a couple of tunnels running under there as well. The tunnels is where the problems with this intersection is, because here that's fine there, and over here this one's okay. I kind of like the hill that is being artificially built, although I would argue that the people probably wouldn't have gone to the effort of putting those rocks on the top of it, having built the hill. That must have been a hell of a chore. They're not Egyptians. Maybe they were Egyptians. And that, oh, this tree here, don't like that. That tree on the peak. Oh, actually, that is horrible. That is very horrible. That's got to go. There you go. I'm not going to smooth out the hill. I'm just going to leave it like that. But that tree didn't work there. It wouldn't have grown like that. Well, maybe it would have done, but never mind. Now, this tunnel under here, we've got a little bit of road glitching, you'll notice at the intersection here. But the actual tunnel is a nice angle. So if you're carrying on from one way or the other way, is fine. This tunnel, however, is kind of a right angle turn. You see, if you're coming up this way, down to ground level. Hey, how about that? Down to ground level. And we're taking the right. It's a right angle turn into the tunnel. If you look there, it's a sharp right immediately afterwards. So if you're coming up this way, you're kind of slaloming, S-bending, and it's just a little bit awkward. I prefer a slightly smoother curve there. Minor stuff, it's all underground. This is nice. This is the end of the rail, the bulbous end of the rail, and the rail container. I've got a little bit overgrown with the mosses again, and I guess that could be a good thing. You might like that. I'm not sure I do personally at this particular location, but hey, hey. There's it's a lovely rail. Now it's a little bit hilly. Not a lot a bit hilly, a little bit hilly at this end of the island. It's been done quite well. Look at the detailing here. That would be a great screenshot just on its own, wouldn't it? Look at that. I told you about the vanilla rock work. Superb. The the road is the rail is lined with logs to show you the way into the tunnel, and the tunnel goes in. It comes out over here again. Quite nice again. There it's a little bit of a hill going slope going up into the tunnel, and considering it's a hilly map, it's quite flat until this point, and now we're starting to climb. Oh no, not this point, sorry. A different point. It's fairly flat here, fairly flat. I'm quite pleased with the work here. This is it. This is where it starts to climb. The elevated, and we are really doing quite a climb over the trees here. We will have a look at this after the asset review break in a little bit more detail, but we climb to that point. We go into a tunnel which is quite a steep tunnel there as well. We emerge immediately out here. Around here we're still climbing at a reasonable rate. Let's turn the terrain lines on. You can make out the terrain lines there. It's not the steepest. I give Know It Hickey a little bit of credit for that, but it is steep. And then as we go into this tunnel, where do you think that comes out? Look how steep that is going into that tunnel. Ooh, ow. And that comes out all the way down here. Now, take my word on this one. I've done the maths. That's a 180 metre drop in that period, that space there. From 300 units to 120 units using the terrain editor. Whether that is meters, isn't it? I'm sure it must be meters. Anyway, we go off here and off through this tunnel, and it's steep again there. And we emerge in Assetville, apparently. How about that? We don't really, clearly. Assetville, today we have got a mini skyscraper, a modern mini skyscraper. Micro city in the forest. I don't know. 05A underscore LP by Ali Targers. A micro city, yeah, great. In the forest, I have no clue. It's past me. I've not read up on this. I don't know what the background story is. I'm just saying that I saw it in the Steam charts. I liked it. I made a note of subscribing to it. I want to stick it into Asset World. It'll look good in Asset World. On Sunday, come and join me for my Let's Play, where I put all the assets that are reviewed in What Map, whether they be great or silly, into a city build. And that's it. Anyway, so Micro City in the Forest, 05A LP by Ali Targers. Today's asset of the day. I like it. And off to Themington Island for this week's theme and LUT. Loving the sunset here. Finding the sun a little bit bright peeking over there. I actually find that burning my eyes on my monitor. It's quite impressive. So anyway, yeah, Clara by Creative Decks with the Core William LUT. And let's have a look at factoids, because factoids. The Doomsday Book, an old document from 1,000 years ago, or there or thereabouts, in the United Kingdom, or what was then England, I guess. Well, of course it was England. It was the United Kingdom came along much later. Yeah, England. The Doomsday Book, oh yes, records that there were more than 28,000 slaves in 11th century Britain. Ah, there you go, Britain. Rather than obviously Great Britain, which would involve Scotland, and the Scots don't want anything to do with us now, let alone back then. And I don't blame you, Scotland. I really wouldn't have anything to do with English either if I was Scottish. I barely want anything to do with English being English at the moment. Shipping routes back in Aotearoa. Aotearoa, got it right, by Know It Hickey. Know It Hookie. Oh, come on. Put your teeth back in. Follow the shipping route around the outside of the peninsula, and the shipping routes are smooth. Look here. Nice smooth bends. I like that. Very rare we see that done. It's the only occasion you'll see it on this map, because it's just a simple shipping route going around with an extra connection halfway round. It's quite smart. Now, water flow is this map's bit of a downfall, I'm afraid. Here is your start square, water, and it's shallow, and there's barely any motion in that ocean at all. I can't even see an arrow. It's nice detailing, But if you're drawing your water from there, or here as a second square maybe, there's no motion at all. In fact, worryingly, it's not too bad here. Let me show you. Here. We've got a little bit of water coming down from these rivers, but worryingly, the sea. It's hardly motion. Now I'm just wondering whether I've got a glitch with the game at the moment, because I can barely see any water pushing in from the outside square of the map at all. So maybe it's my game on this particular occasion, because sometimes we do get weird glitchy bits with games where things just disappear and they should be there and they're not there. But that said, the water source doesn't look like it's got an awful lot of motion in it, I'm afraid. Down here we have got, yes, I wanted to show you the rail. So yeah, the rail, it goes along here, it climbs here, it climbs, and then drops like a stone down to there. Now what I would have suggested was to take a more coastal route. So taking the line around the outside here, maybe even across this little peninsula there, and then come back to land about here. And if we're close to the rail, there's the rail, just take the coast and then join up there. That, I think, would have been a more realistic route rather than climbing all the way through the hills and the mountains, because it's quite a hilly map. Now, the vanilla rocks, not entirely blown away by the vanilla rocks on this cliff face. I said mostly when I said it, but look at the river rocks. The way that the same rocks are being used along the rivers is actually very nice indeed. And more so when we get to a proper river. I thought that was a proper river when I started doing the fly through. We've got this is the water source down here. Not entirely sold on this one at all. It's nothing wrong with it. It just doesn't really do anything. However, there is a second river which is sublime. This one. Once again, not buying into the water source per se, but what I can say about it is if this was a fantasy map, yes, I would definitely buy into that. Then the river, and this is where it gets good. Look at the rock work along the side of this river. It really does feel very nice indeed. Very aesthetic. There's that low bridge, past the low bridge, and then down here we've got more rock work down here. It just feels real. It just feels very, very nice. Then we've got a waterfall, a splish down there, and then we got, now this next bit of rock work feels more like a marble run to me than it does an actual a piece of natural geology, but it's still very well done for what it is. Then the confusing end. All the water's pouring into this. See how shallow that water is. Where is that water going? Now obviously there's a drain on there, but I would suggest these rocks and logs around the outside are left there by the Boy Scouts who come down here on camp, throw up a barbie or something like that, and wonder about where the water is going to. That must be the Fountain of Youth. That'll be it. There you go. It's the Fountain of Youth. The magical waters there. What else have we got before we can move on? Now this is another little bit of waterway here. Once again, not buying into the water source, the amount of water coming out of there. It's a nice water source, it's just got too much coming out. Then down here it splits, it goes either side of this lump of rock in the middle, which I'm not liking at all. But the once again, the rock detailing along there is very nice, very happy with that one. And over here as well, quite like that as well. It's all very nicely done indeed. This lump of rock in the middle, though, I personally would bring that down to at least half the height, maybe 2/3 of the height. It just seems a bit much. I can't see how that would have evolved to be like that. But there you go. There you go. Right, now let's find a spot. Shall we find a spot for a thumbnail? This was a good spot, wasn't it? Your chance to vote on this map. Is it a 1-star map? Is it a 5-star map? Is it somewhere in between? More great rock work here. Your vote really does count. We use it towards the end of month viewers' choice. Oh, look. There you go. More great vanilla rock work. I really like that as well. So there's some very good rock work in this map. But yeah, we use it towards the viewers' choice top 10 at the end of the month. I think this has got a chance. I think it has. It won't win, but it's got a very good chance. Aesthetically, it's got some very nice 4-star areas. Not 5-star areas, but very strong 4-star areas. But across the whole, I think it's only a 3. So 3 stars for aesthetics. Detailing. Some of the detailing is quite nice. Once again, there are some nice 4-star areas. It doesn't drop to below 3 stars, but it only is a 3-star map for detail, I'm afraid. So 3 stars for detail. Having been a bit stingy on aesthetics and detail, I wanted to give the 4-star for gameplay, but then the water flow means I can't give it a 4th star. There's a question mark. Is there a glitch with my game at the moment? I don't know. First time I've seen it. So I'm only going to give it 3 stars for gameplay. I'm a bit sad about doing that. I wanted to give it a 4th star somewhere. Aotearoa by Know It Hickey, and some very, very nice vanilla rock work along the rivers. I think it should be applauded for that. Very nice indeed. Right, anyway, thank you very much for watching, commenting and subscribing and watching and liking. That's the word I missed, liking. Liking and subscribing and all of that. Join me tonight for another map making as I push my map closer and closer towards release, hopefully at the end of next week. And of course you can join me tomorrow for another map in the What's Map series, where we'll have the quirky asset of the week as well. It's going to be a good one. Have a great day. Thanks for watching, and you've been very, very welcome. Oh, where's my coffee?